Chris Gauser here with
Matt Howell.
On this episode of The First Run, Matt and I are going to discuss the latest horror film from Fede Alvarez, the man who brought us the Evil Dead remake, Don't Breathe. We'll also discuss our straight-to-DVD marathon pick this week with After Midnight, or as it's known on Netflix, Naked After Midnight. There's actually an inflection when you read it that sounds like that. And we're also going to be the return of TFR Libs, which is our favorite fill-in-the-blank game. So, Matt, listen, there's a lot to get through this week. So let's hear a clip from Don't Breathe.
Your lips look sore. That's how you're making your cash out there?
What do you say you and I move away from Mom together? It's a promise.
You're leaving?
Yeah, as soon as I have the money.
When are you coming back?
Never.
Yo, I got our ticket out of here. Rumor is this guy is sitting on at least $300K. Boom!
That's our guy.
Wait, is he blind?
We messed up to rob a blind guy, isn't it?
Just because he's blind don't mean he's insane, bro.
Guys, money's probably in there.
Who's there?
Stay right there.
How many of you are there?
Just me, man, all right? Just let me go, please.
Okay, I swear to God.
So, Matt, there's an interesting thing going on right now in the horror movie genre. I'm talking specifically about filming locations. And it seems right now Detroit seems to be the go-to locale for your filming locations. Like last year we had with It Follows and shot in Detroit, which had this very unearthly kind of feel to it because of all the desolation. And again, we revisit that same premise this week with Don't Breathe. We have a trio of young guys, young people, young kids, desperate to get out of their straits, who have been knocking over houses. It seems one of these guys, we have Rocky, Alex, and Money. And one of them, I believe it's Rocky, his father works for a security company. So what they do is they get the security codes and the keys, then they go in and they rob the place and they put the keys back. And they stumble upon a guy whose daughter, Matt, this is important. His daughter was run over and killed. And he then had a settlement where he was awarded $300,000, right? And our crew of miscreants, Matt, discover this, and they go to scout his house, discover that he's blind as well. He's in the middle of nowhere where the cops would take, I don't know, minutes, hours, decades to respond. And they feel he's the perfect victim, Matt. But are they wrong about that?
Mm-hmm. They are deadly wrong. Oh, let's see what I did there.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that addition. So, Matt, what do you think? How did Don't Breathe feel for you? There's one thing I want to say, and then we can jump from there. For me, the best kind of blackout scene since Silence of the Lambs for me. What do you think? Yeah,
definitely. I would definitely agree with that. As I was watching it, I was like, man, this is maybe even better than the Silence of the Lambs blackout scene, because it was some pretty tense stuff going on in that basement. It was pretty sweet. Yes.
So what did you think of the?
Well, I don't know what you. I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm curious. See, all right. Let me reset, Matt. We do a film podcast where we talk about movies that we see on an average, roughly weekly basis. So I'm curious, what were your thoughts of the film Don't Breathe? I can tell you what it's about again if you'd like to. I'm not sure how we're doing. I know you've had a few pops this evening, so
I have. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the film. It's a very tight. I think it's even less than 90 minutes, although because they kind of ratchet the tension up the whole time, that it feels a lot longer than that, just because of how exhausting it is. I did appreciate the fact that as you kind of go through the movie, it kind of shifts your loyalties, and no character in it is really 100% sympathetic, nor are they, necessarily 100% the bad guy. And by the end of the film, you're really not sure who the hell you should be rooting for in this film, because the home invaders are.
Well, let's pump the brakes on that a little bit. Now, I think by the end of the film, I think you find somebody to root for. I think Stephen Lang, who plays the blind guy, in the beginning, I agree with you. I even have that as a note. You almost start to feel bad for him and root for him a little bit, right? You got these little punk kids coming and trying to rob him. He's lost his daughter,
right?
But there is a certain turn this film takes, and I guess maybe Alvarez felt he had to do it, because to let the blind man kind of just go over that edge, and that way we can justify the fact that our heroes, in air quotes, for lack of a better term, can then fight back suitably and potentially escape. Because I don't know how much you want to get into the left dogleg this film takes.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, I understand, but it's really a case of, I think this goes back to one of your favorite sayings here. You're praising syphilis, or you're praising syphilis for not being AIDS. Is really what it is. I mean, the main characters in this are all pretty much, they're all terrible, terrible, terrible people. The final girl, I've got IMDb up. I don't remember the actress's name here, but
Jane Levy. She starred in the Evil Dead remake as well.
Oh, okay. So Jane Levy, as things progress, as things get a little bit more hairy, as violence happens, she's still focused on her money for, the majority of the film.
Let's remember why. She's desperate to get out of Detroit because she lives in a horrible home with an abusive stepfather who's given her the leery eye as well, and they have a young child, I'm assuming her younger sister, who she's desperate to get out of that environment.
I think that's her daughter. That's her daughter.
Oh, is it her daughter? Okay.
Yeah. I get that, but again, at the beginning, until that very last twist there, where it all kind of, you spend a good 65 minutes of this movie where she's so focused on the money. This guy, like you said, he's lost his daughter. He's defending his home, until, again, that twist. So it's kind of hard to kind of switch loyalties on a dime. But at the same time, by the end, I did want everybody to get away, which obviously doesn't necessarily happen, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But,
I think it's interesting. I think one of the things that's interesting, too, is that she has the ability to get out. The window is there for them to leave, unharmed for the most part. But you're right. Her greed, her need for the money keeps her there. And then all the horror that results afterwards. So how did you feel about that? Here's the problem, right? Because if you talk about twists, you ruin it because now everybody's waiting for the twist to happen. So, and it's not a twist as in like he's a genie or something weird like that. But there is the film does take a turn, and
several times. It takes two turns, really. It takes really two turns.
Fair enough. So what did you feel though about the big reveal for the blind man? Did you feel that did it add to the film at all for you? Did it ratchet up the horror even more, or did you feel it was kind of like a cheap out to really just make him as bad a person as possible?
No, I think it was effective. I think it ratcheted up the horror because obviously, you're obviously supposed to follow these three characters who are, obviously home invaders. They're burglars. They're trying to rob a blind guy of what little he has, basically all he has left, really, as it starts. And you're supposed to want to try and get these people to get away. So it's you're trying to. What's interesting about it is even before that the plot changed. I still wanted them to get away. It was weird. Like I didn't want the blind guy to have his bloody retribution or anything like that. Even while before even the really nasty stuff really went down.
Well,
so
I think I think it's generally known that you have a weird thing where people with disabilities creep you out and you want them to be punished. So I think that's what that's based
Thank
on.
you for putting that out there for all the world to hear. But yeah, I think it really did. I think it was effective. I thought it ratcheted up the horror. It kind of made like, wow, these are all really terrible people, and let's see how this goes. But yeah, it was disturbing. I thought it added a lot to the movie.
Yeah, I think I agree, and I think one of the brilliant things about this film and why the tension is so exceptional, and how for me, I was on the edge of my seat, Matt, throughout the entire thing, is how they play with his blindness, how the sound and the smell is what guides him, and the randomness of the attacks or his defense, whatever lens you want to look at it through, it just. I don't know, but because you never knew what was going to happen, you never knew what was around the next corner, but nothing was supernatural about it. Nothing was. I didn't feel any of the things that happened in the film were truly implausible. Right. I mean, it didn't feel like with some horror films where things don't make like what did we say with Lights Out, because the mythology, the rules for that film were always kind of in flux. Because there were times because the ghost or whatever it was could only show up in the dark, but at times had the ability to turn off the lights itself or so, whatever. I don't know. So there was none of that kind of thing. I think and though, like you said, it's 88 minutes, but it's tight, man, and it is very, very unsettling and terrifying. And I am never going to look at a turkey baster the same way again in my entire life.
Yes, seriously, that was some pretty rough shit right there. That was pretty rough. But I mean, you know what? I think Stephen Lang did a good job. I thought Shane Levy did a good job. I like Dylan Minnette. I like Dylan Minnette a lot. Daniel Zavato as Money. He was annoying, but I mean, I guess that's really what the character was going for. So
you can't punish him for doing what he was supposed to do, right?
Right, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good, tense, tight little horror film. Didn't need a lot of exposition, didn't really need anything supernatural. It's like, here it is, here we go.
Yep.
Hang on, and that's basically what it was.
Yeah, and I think too, this is a big step forward for Alvarez for me. I liked the Evil Dead remake, but I felt like he was somewhat confined by the box of Evil Dead. Because fans are looking for some very specific things. We all knew Ash, part of it was going to be jettisoned, but just the horror itself, and that is an iconic film. So I think now he has some room to breathe in this film and kind of bring in more of his own vision. And for me, it's a major success. So I cannot wait to see what he does next. Matt, for me, for Don't Breathe, I want to give it a B+. I think. Solid, and you could talk me into an A-. I really enjoyed it that much. What about you?
Yeah, I think a solid B+ is good. I mean, it's obviously I think it's gonna have like one of those cult little followings. I don't think it's a groundbreaking horror film or anything like that. I don't think it's gonna have like the legs of something like It Follows does or The Witch even. But I think it's gonna be one of those kind of nasty little horror films that I think is gonna get a bit of a following, and I think it's a good time.
Yep, and they do basically leave open the door potentially for a sequel.
Yeah, they do. They certainly do. Which I was kind of on the fence about a little bit, but whatever. I guess that's kind of standard horror movie fare. Yeah,
exactly. All right, if you had a chance to see Don't Breathe, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Just an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. Matt, we have a lot of Blu-ray DVD picks to get through this week, so I'm going to try and blow through them. First off, the big one this week is Captain America: Civil War. One of the best films Marvel has produced, and possibly one of the greatest superhero films of all time. If you get it from Best Buy, there's a steelbook. Target has some extra digital content, and they're giving away 1 month free of Marvel Unlimited, which is a digital platform to read Marvel comics. And then there's a 3D version as well. Here's the thing I hate about what Disney and Marvel does, is the only way to get more than just a Blu-ray disc, you got to buy the 3D version where you get the digital copy. If you get to just buy the single standalone Blu-ray, there's no digital copy included. You do have audio commentary by the directors, Anthony and Joe Russo, and then a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes featurettes on that. So there's a ton to look forward to on that one. Some deleted scenes and outtakes, gag reel, all that fun stuff. The Conjuring Part 2, Matt, is being released as well. This is the Enfield Poltergeist story, of course, based on true events. Wink. Includes some deleted scenes and behind-the-scenes featurettes. Pop Star Never Stop Stoppin' gets released as well. I really enjoyed this. Not a lot of people caught up with this, which I think is a major mistake. I'm not a big fan of Andy Samberg, Matt, but I really enjoyed this film. Includes some deleted scenes, music videos, gag reel, interview outtakes, a bunch of bonus footage as well, and direct and audio commentary by the Samberg and his crew, Akiva Schaffer and Jorma Jorma, one of those. Noah Baumbach and Jake Paltrow's documentary on Brian De Palma called simply De Palma is being released as well. It's supposed to be a fantastic documentary where they basically just interview him about his life and his career. Let's keep in mind, folks, this is the guy that directed Carrie, Dress to Kill, Blowout, Scarface, The Untouchables, Carlito's Way, and the first Mission Impossible film, amongst a bunch of other stuff. Matt, a horror anthology film. We and I tend to like the horror anthology films. But one of the ones, even though they rarely are successful, one of the ones I did not catch up with last year is being released on Blu-ray, and it's called Tales of Halloween. It includes a Blu-ray, DVD, and then a CD of the soundtrack. I think one of the things that excited me about this is the presence of Neil Marshall. I like Neil Marshall's work a lot. He most recently he's been doing a lot of Game of Thrones direction, but he did what's the one with all the ladies that get stuck in the cave?
The Descent.
The Descent. He did The Descent. Thank you. Doomsday he did, which I like a lot, even though it's a little uneven. Dog Soldiers, Centurion, which is a great little film with Michael Fassbender. So he's a short in here. Includes a bunch of them. Let's see. As I said, there's a soundtrack as well. So you can pick that up on Blu-ray. I'm very excited for that. Criterion is giving us the story of The Last Chrysanthemum, which is a heart-rending masterpiece by Kenji Mizoguchi about the give and take between life and art, which marked the director's first use of the hypnotic long takes and eloquent camera movements that would come to define his films. Includes an all-new 4K digital restoration and a brand-new interview with critic Philip Lopati about the evolution of Mizoguchi's style. Criterion is reissuing the Zatoshi, the Blind Swordsman box set. Matt, I'm not familiar with this thing. This is a massive box set covering all the Blind Swordsman films from 62 to 73. It's pricey, so maybe you want to hold on to the next Barnes & Noble sale, but that's getting reissued by Criterion. We're also getting a 30th anniversary release of Aliens. Nothing really new here, Matt, just new packaging. Now it includes a digital copy, and there's a book with some art cards, and there's one new featurette called The Inspiration and Design of Aliens. Includes deleted and extended scenes. I do believe includes both films as well, both versions of the film, the theatrical and then the Cameron cut. Argento's Tenebrae is being released by Synapse Films, a great little giallo that, if you haven't seen it, includes audio commentary track with film critic and Argento scholar Maitland McDonough, and a rare new high-definition 1080p English sequence that was not originally included, which is included via seamless branching, and some other production stuff as well, and includes the original U.S. version of the end credit sequence as well as the original film. Alternate opening credit sequence. There's a whole bunch of stuff from Synapse here. So if you're a fan of Tenebrae, that's your chance to pick up that. Scream Factory, Matt, is giving us Raising Cain. You ever see Raising Cain with John Lithgow, where he plays the guy with all the weird personality things?
I remember it, but I've never seen it.
I didn't realize it was a director's cut. So Scream's giving us the theatrical version of one disc and the director's cut in the second. We're getting a couple of Universal Studios monster releases, Matt. The Frankenstein and Wolfman Legacy collections both being released individually. Disc Wolfman, you get the Wolfman, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, Werewolves of London, and then She-Wolf of London. If you buy the Frankenstein Legacy set, Matt, you get Frankenstein, you get Bride of, Ghost of, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. So be careful. I guess you might be doubling up a little bit if you buy both sets. Bride of the Reanimator being released by Arrow in a single disc set. They released a super duper set previously, which included a CD soundtrack, I believe. Now, if you didn't want to spend all that money, you can get the single disc. And then, Matt, a film that really bothered me as a kid. It really made me angry. It made a lot of kids angry. It's getting released on Blu-ray from Shout Factory, and that's The Transformers, the movie.
Oh, yeah, this is devastating. This is a devastating film.
Matt, I was so upset. The whole thing, that's when I was first time I really felt like it was one of the first times I grew up because I realized this was not fan service. This wasn't for me. This was to sell new toys.
Right.
This whole film. You kill the best Transformer out of all of them, in my opinion, Optimus Prime. Though I always like Soundwave.
Hmm.
And who is the laser gun? Not Megatron or Galvatron. Shockwave. Shockwave.
Yeah, I think so.
So I liked him too. I had him. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of new featurettes from Shout Factory with this film. Included some deleted scenes, a fishing scene, the death of Optimus Prime. Like they say, whoops, spoiler alert at the end of that. Audio commentary featuring the director, which I think what I loved it too, they wrote in the review, whom I personally found a bit hard to understand sometimes while he was speaking. Anyway, so you've been waiting for a lot of people, Matt. This is a big deal. I've seen on some forums and stuff. It's like biggest release of the year. I'm like,
really? All right, whatever you say, champs. See, the problem is that 80s cartoons did not prepare us for any kind of death in our cartoons. I mean, literally every G.I. Joe, every plane that blows up, they suddenly parachute out or they leap to the safety right before it blows up. Nobody died. We were not prepared for that.
I know. On the G.I. Joe, they all their lasers were always set on stun. You know,
always on nobody got hit by anything. There'd be thousands of guys shooting at each other. Nobody got hit.
Everything that blew up too, nobody ever got. I always thought that was all right. And then Matt too, Twilight Time is releasing some films. This is Twilight Time does these limited 3,000 roughly usually releases, so get them while you can. And this time we're getting Remo Williams.
Okay.
Bobby Deerfield starring Al Pacino, 9 to 5. Okay. And then Murphy's Law, Charles Bronson film.
Okay.
So Matt, you're straight to DVD pick of the week. I'm going to give you not another zombie movie. All right. And the only reason why I chose this is because I love the name of the guy who stars in it.
Okay.
Franklin and Mike find themselves trapped in an undead-infested Syrian crime. It's spelled Cyrene. Serene, Matt, with a C.
Yeah.
A Y. Serene City, where they must attempt to lead a group of unconventional survivors to safety. As they join forces with the likes of a pregnant woman, a moronic arms dealer, and a mentally challenged man, they'll have to determine which is worse, relying on each other or succumbing to the zombie mayhem. While this uprising of zombies has overwhelmed the city, Mr. Roberts, the CEO of R2 Pharmaceuticals, has sent in a team of mercenaries known as Siege. And Siege is an acronym, folks, just so you know. We don't know what it stands for. Into Serene, son of a bitch. Into Serene City. It's the spelling keeps throwing me off.
Yeah, sure.
To recover the only known antidote for his own financial gain. Matt, the guy who stars in this film is named Blackjack Johnson.
Wow. How can you not love that? His given name, Blackjack.
Why don't I have a cool name like Blackjack Scalzo? Instead, it's Sensitive, Rocking a Corner, and Weep Scalzo, which is not quite as catchy. Blackjack Johnson. So anyway,
blubbering tears.
I watched a film this week, Matt, on the Netflixes. So here's my streaming recommendation of the week for you. I'm going to go Rounders. Matt Damon, Edward Norton. I haven't watched that film in a very long time. And it's still, Famke Johnson, still holds up. Very entertaining. It's a great little film. If you haven't seen Rounders, it's a poker movie. Matt Damon is working his way through law school, and he lost everything, and he quits poker because Gretchen Mol, and he's trying to maintain that relationship and get on the straight and narrow. And his buddy gets out of prison, who basically went to jail for him, Edward Norton. And Norton's he's a miscreant, Matt, right? And he's always getting in trouble, and things just go crazy from there. So if you haven't seen Rounders, and I got to tell you too, this is a film too, right? This was a film that sparked the poker craze.
Yeah, it really was.
So if you haven't seen Rounders, check it out. Yeah. What about you? Did you see anything online?
No, I haven't actually. I'm sorry, I have not watched anything. I'm busy, man.
Thanks for the input, Matt. Let's talk about.
Wait, hey! You ask me an unprepared question, you get the honest answer. That's what you get.
Let's be clear here. I think that if we haven't been, we have to establish this. You are responsible for the straight to DVD picks of the week going forward. All right. I'm sorry, the streaming picks of the week going forward. All right.
Fine.
So you have to find something.
Okay. Even if
All
I
right.
haven't watched, as long as I've seen it before, right?
That's fine. I don't care about honesty. I don't. There's no.
Right.
Yeah. No. You know,
Okay.
one of our former hosts on this show, Dave Cunningham, Briar Rabbit himself, once lied his way through the entire show. He didn't see the movie, so he looked it up like on Wikipedia, and then
Nice.
son of a bitch.
I think Esmo did that a couple times too.
We're all about integrity.
We are.
All right, Matt.
This is an unimpeachable show right here.
That's right. So let's take a break and hear a clip from our next film in our straight to DVD marathon, Naked After Midnight. Maybe Naked or just After Midnight. Either way, Naked After Midnight. Let's take a listen.
Police are searching for clues tonight in the shooting death of a young dancer outside a downtown strip club.
Did you know her?
She was my sister. I will find Andy's killer.
You have to be willing to let her go. A reporter working undercover as a stripper.
Somebody is killing all my people.
She made somebody really mad. I didn't kill anybody.
Death is not the end. She's mine.
Help me. She was killed just after midnight.
All right, Matt. So I decided to have a little fun with this, and I was live tweeting my viewing of this film.
Oh, really? Did you get a lot of hits? A lot of retweets?
Oh, yeah, of course not. No, why? Nobody's watching this thing.
Of course.
And nobody's listening to me. So I started with our Straight to TV Marathon, drunkenly continues this week with Naked After Midnight, #Grieco. So, so Richard Grieco's in this, as well as Tawny Kitaen.
I know. I was amazed when I saw her. I was like, man, where's Whitesnake?
That's right. You're desperately searching for a car hood somewhere out there. So, Matt, why don't you try and explain to people at home what this movie's about, if you can?
If I can, okay. Well, there's a murder in a strip club, and the stripper's sister goes undercover to find her killer, and basically quickly discovers that strip clubs are full of sleazy, untrustworthy people, and everyone's a suspect. Dun dun dun. You know, and that's basically what this movie's about in a nutshell. It was terrible.
It was absolutely atrocious, Matt. It was
so bad.
And what's really horrible about it too is that I don't know where to begin. Okay, it's not even worth watching as a trashy movie.
I know it's not. No.
It's so bad.
Even the nudity is not good. It's very, even the nudity is phoned in. It's really phoned in on this one.
One thing I loved about it too, it was like I'm watching it and it's like something horrible. Somebody gets killed. Oh, there's a guy who kind of looks like how did I put it? I described him as a cross of Sam Elliott and Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges is Sam Elliott as Rusty. There's this old crusty guy who gets killed in the parking lot. And as soon as he drops, we smash cut right to some girl's breasts in the strip club.
Right.
And it's just, it is so badly edited, so badly written, so poorly directed. The dialogue, Matt, is atrocious. The acting in this thing is just, I don't know. I don't have bad enough adjectives to describe how poor this film is. Grieco, who plays a doctor, or he's a best friend, or he's a therapist or a psychologist or something. He is clearly he's here for whatever check it is. I can't imagine it's going to be that much, but it's still he's like this weird ghostly presence in the outskirts of this movie at all times, right? And eventually, every now and then he shows back up. He has about 2 minutes of dialogue and he's gone again. And inevitably he shows back up. And this thing, just the way it ends, Matt, I don't know if it was like an afterthought or they didn't have an idea for an ending, or they just ran out of money, or I don't know what it is, but the way it ends, it's just so, I'm like, And that's it? This is what we're going to do?
It's probably a combination of A, B, and C. I mean, they probably had no ideas. They ran out of money.
Or they ran out of, you know what it is? They ran out of cocaine. I think that's what it was.
Yes.
Everybody's
really,
we're out.
They were on a 3-day bender, a meth bender, writing the script, and it ran out by the time they got to page 118. They're like, well, what the hell happened?
It is. It's like, that's why a lot of ways it reminded me of The Big Sleep, because they have no idea really. When you watch that film, you realize you have no idea what's happening. There really is no plot line in that film. There's no ending. You don't know who kills. It's weird. Look into that at some point. It's a really interesting story, and that's how it reminds me of After Midnight.
Well, there you go. Or Naked After Midnight, right?
It's
right.
Depending on And what's weird too is little things I picked up. To like one of the guys, the young sweet kid, the nice guy who spends all of his money at the adult venue. I thought looked a lot like Matthew Sweet, but I didn't want to tag him in that tweet. I didn't think that would be appropriate. One of the actresses, Tina, I couldn't pin down her accent. It was like Georgia via the Jersey Turnpike. I wasn't quite sure where she was from. I don't know. And there was this weird point too where did somebody scream at somebody that's going to eat your face? Oh yeah, that was the guy that she was sleeping with initially. The guy who works at the news station that our star is with, right? And there's a weird thing too, is all the guys are after our actress. Her name is Constance, and they're all lecherous and creepy. Every one of them is horrible. Like there's one guy, 2 Pax, who I tried to pretend to like, but even that didn't last very long because everybody is so loathable. Is loathable a word? I don't know.
It is now.
There you go.
Look an exception.
And we have a very strict policy of we don't do spoilers on this show except for the straight to DVD marathon, where I don't give about spoilers.
Right.
So the whole thing is, oh God. So the whole thing is our star Constance, whose sister gets killed, and all these other people get killed as she's trying to investigate what happened to her sister. She's the one that did it. Constance is our murderer, Matt. And it's revealed so subtly throughout the film that she has past mental problems. There's this key scene with Grieco. The man is just, he figures it out what's going on by talking to her and talking to her friends. And he runs down to the strip club to try and help her. And shockingly, she shoots him. And I think
Grieco did deserve better. Dr. Sam deserved better.
I think my biggest disappointment is that nobody yelled, Booker's a good cop throughout this entire thing. A total missed opportunity. And where were the police in all of this?
I mean, are you trying to fit logic into this at this point?
Yeah, that was my biggest problem, is that there was no police presence, really.
So where does this rate? I mean, so we've watched Zoomies. What if I'm embarrassed but not embarrassed to admit this. I don't even remember what the hell we watched last week. I don't even remember what did we watch last week? It was so forgettable.
It was
you don't remember either.
I don't. Hopefully this one won't stay with me either. Oh yeah. Oh, how could we forget? I love this film. Kindergarten Cop 2.
Oh, Kindergarten Cop, yeah. Okay, so
Zombies. We got Zombies from Asylum, which is a Jurassic World-esque zoo park thing where all the animals become zombies. You have Kindergarten Cop 2, Dolph Lundgren taking over the Schwarzenegger role. I think I have to say Kindergarten Cop 2 is more offensive to me.
Yeah,
because
its existence is more offensive. Yes, I would say that's true.
Because this film, After Midnight, is more. Listen, this is what it is. This is a Skinamax film gone horribly wrong, if that's even a thing. It's just, I just can't. Yeah, I really think it's what it is. They just ran out of Coke and they called it a day. That's really the only way I can figure out this film.
Can you imagine? Now that you said that, I just imagine the guys who wrote this film bringing it into like a Cinemax executive and be like, all right, you want to buy this film for Cinemax After Dark, and the guy watching it be like, ooh, guys, this is not Cinemax After Dark material. I'm sorry. We got standards here at the max.
Well, this guy's done a lot of stuff, man. I looked him up after the film on IMDb, and he's been churning out this stuff for a long time now. A couple decades, it looks like. And they're all this type of fare. And our exceptionally talented lead, though, she seems to be his current muse because she's in a bunch of these new movies. She has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pictures in the works over the next year.
Wow.
So I think
have you seen Fred Owen Ray's picture?
What is that? Oh, yeah.
That is a thing of beauty. Listener, go out and look at Fred Owen Ray. You will not be disappointed with his IMDb page.
Yeah, it's
that was a classy man.
Yeah, it's a good look.
It is. Well, I'm still saying Zoomies so far is still the best.
Yeah, I have to say that I have to agree with you. But I love this stuff. So I'm looking at his oeuvre. He did a movie called Hatfields and McCoys, Bad Blood, which had Jeff Fahey, Perry King, and Christian Slater. He did a sniper special ops movie with Seagal and Van Damme. No, not that Van Damme. And then so it's interesting. I think we now know going forward, Matt, that we can avoid Mr. Owen Ray's.
Well, you don't want to watch Holiday Road Trip? Just to see how it goes?
I think I'm going to pass.
Okay.
I think I'm going to pass.
No Bikini Frankenstein? Come on, Bikini Frankenstein.
Now that does sound tempting.
Wow, he's got a lot of Bikini Pirates, Bikini Roundup, Bikini Airways. Guys, come on.
The man has a.
I think I know what our next marathon's going to be. The works of Fred Owen Ray.
God, don't make me do that. Bikini Royale 2, The Girl from Bikini. Super Ninja Bikini Babes does actually sound kind of interesting. Because of ninjas. I like ninjas.
Bikini Time Machine? Yeah, come on. We could. The Bikini Escort Company. Wow. Bikini Chain.
That one's a little too on the nose. The Bikini
a little bit too much.
Escort Company.
Oh boy.
All right. I don't know. Yeah, there's really nothing. This thing is just a mess. It's not even like I said before.
Yeah.
You're even trying to watch a trashy movie. This is not just find whatever Lloyd Kaufman's just crapped out in the last 6 months and watch that instead. Yeah. No disrespect to Lloyd, actually. I love his work. I'm a big Troma guy. That's bad taste done well. This is just I don't know. It's a dry heave of a movie.
Bad on every level. Bad on every level.
It's a dry heave of a movie. So let's just move on. Don't even, if you've seen this, we don't even want to hear from you. You don't. It's not.
If you watch this willingly, we don't want to know you at all. Stop listening to this show.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's not worth either of our time.
No, yes, he is.
It's not worth either of our times to continue any conversation about this. Now, if you have something really funny, or you say, "Hey, Chris, I loved your tweets about this," well, you know what? That's good. Then email me, beefback@thefirstrun.com, or directly, Chris Scalzo@thefirstrun.com. Did you even know that existed? It does. Mm-hmm. Matt, let's take a break. Let's try and pretend this didn't happen, and let's play our favorite fill in the blank game.
Mad Libs.
TFR Libs. Let's not get sued. We'll be right back.
Oh, all right.
Who the hell are you?
You know. You all know exactly who I am. Say my name.
You what? I don't have a damn clue who the hell you are.
Yeah, you do. I'm the cook. I'm the man who killed Gus Fring.
Bullshit. Cartel got Fring.
You sure? That's right. Now, say my name.
Heisenberg.
You're goddamn right.
Welcome back.
I mean,
this week on
wouldn't we
Bikini
have to-
Junction. Huh? What's that?
Wouldn't we have to be monetized to get sued? I mean, wouldn't we have to be making money off Mad Libs in order to get sued?
I don't know. I hear they're extremely litigious.
Yeah, you get a lot of cease and desist letters from Mad Libs.
I do. I get cease and desist. I don't. Yeah, I shred everything we get. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but you know what's weird? Let's talk about this. I got two things that happened to me in the last week that really bother me. A couple weeks ago, I thought it would be kind of fun. On Instagram, I started following First Run. They're a running thing, like people who jog and run.
Right.
So I thought it'd be fun because we're brother and sister, or brother and brother, or cousins, or however you want to call it.
We're kissing cousins, really.
Do we get a follow back? No. What's up with that first? What's up with that run? First run? You can't give a little the first run love? You don't appreciate the joke? Jerks. Secondly, we get a copyright claim on a YouTube video, Matt, that we didn't even post.
Okay.
I was messing around with some stuff for the website, and if you go to thefirstrun.com, you can see I try and update it basically every day. And I had added some interesting information about some Marvel news, and one of the things I included though was they're going to have a brand new. Oh, it was pictures of Bokeem Woodbine as Shocker for Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay.
So, but I included also a little thing where they actually they've revealed the new crawl or the new Marvel opening for the next wave.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it yet. And I loaded up into the YouTube. It kept as a draft because I was experimenting with some stuff, and I never posted it. Never. It's private to this day, and it got popped. I got a warning. I didn't even post it. They released it though. 2 days ago. They released that claim, so I'm very happy about that. So I don't know. That just bothered me. So those two things have been on my mind that I wanted to talk about. But one good thing, Matt, is that Christine Wynn of Naked After Midnight did like one of my tweets about Naked After Midnight. So,
oh, very nice! Wow,
it was the one that I complimented her on. That's probably either way. So, Matt, let's move on. TFR Libs. Now that I've wasted more time. All right, Matt. This is our fill in the blank game. I got one for you. I got a bunch here. So here we go. I'm going to start things off, Matt. Suicide Squad crossing $700 million is blank for the DC Cinematic Universe.
Is worrisome for the DC Cinematic Universe? I mean, didn't this thing have to clear $1 billion to be?
No. You're thinking of BVS.
BVS.
BVS is what we call it in the streets. Suicide Squad, I think, has performed to expectations. It cost them $175 to make. You want to throw in what? Another $100 for advertising?
Okay.
So we're at $275. Domestically, it's right now. It's sitting at $307.4.
Okay.
So we're about 20. That's not much. We're about 20 million. 22 million in the green, in the black, if you will, domestically. But then you add in another 400, basically, for foreign. We're good. I think we're good.
Yeah, I would still say it's worrying. It's not a whole lot of profit. It's not world conquering stuff. You're not lighting the world on fire. And if this was kind of the thing that was supposed to right the ship, I believe, as we talked about, I think I would be very nervous if I was a WB suit.
Yeah, for me, I think that Suicide Squad crossing $700 million is relieving. I think it's a film that they thought would do well, but I don't think it was supposed to be $1 billion movie. We're at 7. Maybe they were thinking 750. I don't know. I think I think despite the negative reviews, it did catch on. It did perform well. In some ways, though, maybe Matt, it's worse because I don't want anybody to think that things are okay. You know, it's like back when
everybody still have the fear in them.
A little bit, because I don't want anybody to think, well, Suicide Squad was fine, so this is what we're going to stay on this track. It's not what I want to hear. All right, because things are bad. Not bad, but things are testy. If you want, actually, if you go to the website, we just posted something about Deathstroke casting, which I think we're going to talk about in a little bit. But there was a website that we lazygamer.net, Matt. I don't know if you got a chance to see this, but they have a ton of leaked information about the DC cinematic universe coming up, like what the plans are for the next bunch of films.
Okay.
And I got to admit, they make sense. They make sense.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll see what happens with that. But basically, what I'm saying is, I don't want them to get complacent and think that everything's okay just because the film did fine. And I don't think they are. I think they realize that there are some problems, and hopefully they'll fix them. All right, what do you got?
All right, well, let's move right into that since you brought it up. Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke is blank.
I think it's good. It's solid. I think he's going to do well in that role. I don't have a lot of experience with him. I had absolutely no idea that he was Flash Thompson in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. He was in like 2 scenes of the entire trilogy, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was him until I saw it this weekend when he was they announced him as Deathstroke. Right. He's a big guy. He's got the tough guy voice. I think he's fine. I think it's great. I'm really, and then the reveal that Ben Affleck released a couple weeks ago, he did that test footage they did of Deathstroke,
right? That
he put out there on Twitter. I think was really cool. So I'm excited. I'm gonna say is exciting. So Manganiello as Deathstroke is exciting.
Okay.
What do you feel?
I'm gonna say uninspired. I mean, I've never seen Manganiello in something that really. He's always kind of had a comedic edge. I don't know if that's what Deathstroke is supposed to have. I mean, maybe it is. I'm not really sure. Seen him really anything where he's just playing a straight up tough guy, scary dude. So it'll be interesting to see him pull it off. I mean, maybe he can. I just haven't seen anything like that. So it's tough to make a decision. He's got he's big, gruffy. That's what you got. But I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. I think it's good. I think it'll be good. All right, Matt. So Spectre is the blank Bond film with Daniel Craig. Spectre is the blank Bond film with Daniel Craig.
Spectre is the penultimate. I think they're going to get him to do one more. I think they're going to back up the truck. They're going to open it up, and it's just going to be a dump trunk full of pounds coming out, pound notes, pound sterling, whatever those Brits use. Yeah, I think he's going to do one more. I think that'll be a second. I don't know if they'll get him to do any more than that, but I think they'll give him an obscene amount of money to do at least one more, and he'll do it.
Supposedly
he likes money.
Supposedly they offered him $150 million to do 2 more films.
Right.
Could you imagine? And he had turned down, I think, a deal for $100 for 2 already.
Yeah. I can see him doing, 1 for 75. Although that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. That's a huge chunk of the budget just for that one.
Yeah,
I mean, Suicide. That's like Suicide Squad. Okay, they cost him $170 million just to make it. I mean, that's Daniel Craig money right there, just to bring him back on this thing.
Craig says it's not true. He says that it's a rumor and it's total as I say bullocks.
It was probably more than that, or maybe it was like $5 million less. It was like $145 million.
I'll bet you it was more. It was more of a thing where they're going to give him $30 million and then a cut of the proceeds or the profits or something,
which they're estimating at like $150.
Right. Yeah, I think that's probably what it was more likely. But yeah, I'm with you actually. I'm scared to say is maybe last.
Yeah.
Bond film, but I think I think I'm confidently in your camp. I think they're going to squeeze one more out of him, and we'll see. Thankfully for me, Sam Mendes is not coming back. I like Skyfall a lot. It doesn't hold up as well upon repeated viewings. I haven't had a chance to see Spectre again since I saw it in the theater. Now, granted, I saw it in the theater twice.
Yeah.
And I liked it, but it was not great.
Right.
And
I remember you being pretty gushy about Skyfall when it came out.
I did. I think I ranked it number 3 or 4 all time when I first saw it. And there are parts of it that are really, really good. And then there are other parts that don't work for me. Like the one thing that drives me crazy about that film specifically is when Bond's chasing what's his name? I always keep wanting to say Scaramanga, but I know that's the wrong. It's Silva. He's chasing Silva to the subways. And Silva hits the detonator to have the train fall on top of Bond and try and kill him. How did he know he was going to be there, following him at that exact place, at that exact time, with the train coming at that exact moment? How is that remotely possible? It's not.
Magic. It's magic. It's Bond magic.
I don't know. So there's just little things like that bother me. But overall, I still think it's a very successful film. And the end of it doesn't make sense to me either. If you have a guy come with an army to kill you, you don't go to your old home with just you, Albert Finney, and Judi Dench with a couple shotguns or rifles. You bring in the military. All right, you bring. That logically that doesn't make a lot of sense for me either.
Oh my God, Chris, come on! You're the biggest Bond fan that I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've seen every one of these movies. None of these things are built upon what is plausible. I mean, these things are all insane. I mean, didn't Timothy Dalton or was it Roger Moore like skiing down on literal jet skis down the side of a mountain?
I think part of the issue, Matt, is that though this version is supposed to be more realistic. The Casino Royale, the Daniel Craig Bond, is supposed to be more rooted in reality. They weren't going to do big spaceships swallowing spaceships. They weren't going to do that kind of. Yeah, that's not what this series was supposed to be. So, it's a fair point. That's a fair point. I think you're right. All right. So what do you got? Is it me? No, it's you. What do you got?
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna switch I know this is a film podcast, but I want to switch to the small screen a little bit since we're going into fall and new stuff's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you're a big fan of the Agents of the Shield, as I like to call them.
Yeah.
So this upcoming season we're getting the Ghost Rider, which I'm pretty excited to see what they do with it. So my question to you is, the next Marvel superhero to appear on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will be blank.
Ooh. Who's it going to be? So now they're going Ghost Rider. They did Deathlock rather poorly, in the first season?
Yes, very poorly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think who. The problem is you got all these people tied up on Netflix as well.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's where you would go. But Netflix has pulled a bunch of those guys. Who would be good? I don't think you can do Nomad because they're doing him basically with the next Captain America or Avengers film because he's not gonna.
Yeah.
Who's a good Stiltman? No. Rocket Racer. Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl could be pretty fun.
Here's the problem. My Marvel knowledge is from when I was much younger, so I'm trying to go through in my head who's gonna. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? What do you have?
All right. So I would like it to be Cloak and Dagger. I would have said Cloak and Dagger if there wasn't going to be that other series on Lifetime. Is it Lifetime or Sci-Fi Channel that they're coming out with?
It can't be Lifetime.
So that's a bummer. It's or maybe ABC Family. I think it's ABC Family. Now that I said, I knew it was some kind of weird Cloak and Dagger TV show, but this is what I think. I think it's going to be. I would love it to be, since they seem to be going into the magic side. I would love it to be Morbius, the Living Vampire. I think would be fantastic if they pulled that off on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, no character I always kind of liked, even though he's just a cheap Batman ripoff, is Moon Knight. That might be kind of good.
Moon Knight would be cool too. Yeah, Moon Knight actually has some good comics. I mean, they got some pretty cool guys, to write for him, and that can basically just let him do whatever the hell they want. So I mean, there's some good runs of Moon Knight. It could be interesting.
Namor might be good, but I think he's tied up with
yeah, he is tied up with somebody.
Right? He's X-Men. I think technically, he's a mutant, so he's not allowed to be used. He's part of that group, I think. What about She-Hulk, man? I think She-Hulk would be a great fit for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
She-Hulk could be pretty fun. Although I'd like to see lawyer She-Hulk go up against Nelson and Murdoch on Daredevil as well, when they just decide to really just screw it and just bring in all kinds of weird shit into that show.
That would be pretty cool. That's a good point. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go then. I guess I'll just stick with Moon Knight, or even though you tried to grab her for Netflix, I'm going to stick with I think She-Hulk's the best out of all of them, probably. Yeah. So, all right. Good times. All right, Matt, let me ask you. Vince Gilligan, I'll stick with TV. Vince Gilligan and Michelle MacLaren, who did a little show called Breaking Bad, are reuniting for a Jonestown miniseries for HBO. since I've batched up my sentence. This is blank.
Awesome. I think I love Vince Gilligan. I mean, he's Chris Piascazo's doppelganger. I mean, this is what Chris looks like as a doppelganger. So yeah, I mean, Vince Gilligan's the man. I'm very excited.
A much more successful version. Yes.
Well, yes. I mean, please don't rub it into Vince's face. He's done okay for himself. He's trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I got the two of them teaming back up again to do Jonestown miniseries for HBO. I think is fascinating. That's my word. It's fascinating. I can't wait to see what they come up with. So that'll be good. I'm looking forward to that. Let's hope it actually comes to be and it gets done.
All right. So this is my last one. It's a two-parter. Okay. It's extremely broad, and I did it just to piss you off because it's so broad. Okay, you ready? So. Is my most anticipated show of the fall, and blank is my most anticipated movie of the fall/winter.
Jeez, I don't follow the shows as much as I used to.
The TVs.
Yeah, so I know Breaking Bad season 3 doesn't start until early next year, right? That's like a February show, isn't it?
Or Better Call Saul, sure, yes.
What did I say? Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad, yeah.
I'm sorry, Better Call Saul. So I'm looking forward to the next season of The Walking Dead, but not. I don't know. I'd probably have to say The Flash season 3 because they're doing Flashpoint.
Yeah, yeah.
So
and they're getting Mirror Master is going to be one of the villains in it, right?
I think so. So
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that for sure. And then I'm trying to think of any other show because most of my other shows are like Justified's gone.
Yeah.
And like I said, Better Call Saul is until next year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that's it. I guess it would be the one I'm most looking forward to. Huh,
All right.
I feel like I'm forgetting something now. I think it's gonna kick myself in the pants when I remember what it is. But I feel like we'll see. What about you? Oh no, it's definitely Gotham. Thumbs down.
For TV, it's a tie for either. I'm really interested to see what HBO is going to look like.
What is that? What's going to look like?
Westworld.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. So it's got all J.J. Abrams involved. So I'm really interested to see what they do with this one. And of HBO, I've been pretty impressed with what they've done so far. So
I read today that they're plotted out for 5 seasons if it happens.
Really? Wow. All right. And then, but I think the other show I'm really interested to see is the new FX series Legion, which is based off of the X-Men character Legion, or the kind of standalone comic that they did for that, which I think could be very interesting. It's got Aubrey Plaza in it, but so I think it could be. Even though it's outside the X universe, I think it could be a pretty interesting little show.
Yeah, I'll have to see if that pulls off. That'd be good. Oh, you know what? I don't know. Maybe this is February too. The next season of The Americans, I'm really excited for.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
And what's your most anticipated movie? What's your most anticipated film? And this is a layup, but if you really think about it.
I guess it's got to be Star Wars, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has to be Star Wars. Come on, dude. It's gonna be big. Although I am excited to see the Blair Witch. I'm interested to see if it can hold up to the hype.
That's a week out, brother.
I know. I'm excited.
Yeah, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, though. I think it has to be my most anticipated for the rest of the year. It's not Doctor Strange, which I'm, excited to see, but it's not. I don't know. I'm not super.
Yeah, but those low expectation Marvel movies end up sometimes being the best ones. So we'll see.
And they got the new Jack Reacher movies coming up.
Yeah.
And then we have, what else is coming? There's The Accountant with Ben Affleck. Looks interesting. I don't know if you've seen that trailer yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe we should do that next week, Matt, is our top 5 most anticipated films of the rest of the year. So we'll have to go through that. So, but I'm assuming Rogue One then is your number 1 most anticipated film as well. So I guess that'll be it then. It'll be our top 5 not named Rogue One. I think we'll have to do it that way. So, all right, man, I got one more for you. Just it's a little throw off. G.I. Joe 3 is being delayed due to Dwayne Johnson's schedule. I said, it being delayed is blank, Matt.
Fine with me. I don't think I didn't see, full confession, I didn't see either of those films, and I have no interest in seeing either of those films, so I'm not really missing out on anything.
I remember watching the first one and actually liking it, and Dave made fun of me relentlessly because I actually bought it. And then I watched it again after I bought it, and I'm like, dear God, what the hell was I thinking? This thing's horrible.
What were you thinking, dude? That looked like a piece of junk from the trailer on, man.
And the second one's even worse. It's horrible. They're both atrocious. So, but hey, I don't know. You make money, you go. So
there you go.
My fill in the blank for that's going to be fine. Whatever.
It's fine.
Whatever. Cool. I don't care. Do what you got to do. I'm more excited to see him as Black Adam than I am to see him as Roadblock again, whatever his name is, in that horrible franchise. So, all right, great. Matt.
Well, you contributed to it, so you should feel good about that.
I did.
You were part of the reason they're getting a number 3.
Damn it. I'll have to sneak in the number 3 then if I end up going to see it. Matt, I don't know. I think I did the best I could. It was a rough night. I've not been in a good mood all day. So, and then we're having connectivity issues. It's getting really bad too. So let's wrap everything up, Matt. Coming up next week, I think it's going to be, what is it going to be next week? Is it going to be Blair Witch? Oh, it's Sully. Sully's next, and then Blair Witch is coming up after that. So it's going to be a fun couple weeks. So I'll talk about that. We got to pick a straight to DVD movie for next week, Matt. I think we only have 1 or 2 left. I don't remember what we're supposed to do
on the list. Neither do I.
So we'll figure that out.
I thought you were keeping track of that. Yeah.
I don't. Hard Target 2 is on Netflix, so maybe we'll throw that in there just for the heck of it. Who knows? But we'll take a look at the list, and I'll let you all know. And that's it. So check us out on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and then just thefirstrun.com itself. We're there. Thanks for adding the sound effect there. So we're going to take a bit of an extended break, and we'll see you all soon.
Dirk Diggler demo.
Keep the vocals up.
You got the touch. Take 7.
You got the touch. You got the power. Yeah. After all is said and done, you never walk, you never run, you're a winner. You got to move, you know the streets, break the rules, take the heat, you're nobody's fool. You're at your best when the going gets rough. You've been put to the test, but it's never enough. You got the touch. You think the bass is taken away from the vocal?
No, not really. Maybe. It sounds balanced to me.
It's definitely taken away from my vocal. Just take the bass down and bring up the vocals. Okay, let's do it, Nick. You heard him.